We know there are many choices in internet radio, and the staff and host of LA Talk Live would like to thank you for choosing the internet's hottest destination for the most eclectic sound and invigorating talk. This is LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
Today is my day, a brand new beginning. The future will blossom magnificently, 'cause today I'm planting the seed. Planting a seed to build a world closer
Hi,
to heaven.
welcome. This is LA Talk Live, where we're more than just talk. And this is Talk Up Your Business, Speak Your Way to More Profits with Susan Levin, that's me.
And I'm Jean-Noel Bassior.
And we're here to talk about how you can build your expertise, use your expertise to grow your business or your practice. There's so many people out there who are experts and they don't even realize that they're experts or they're entrepreneurs, and they have so much information to share. And we're here to give you the inspiration to know that you could go out there and inspire people and motivate people to be their fullest. So many people have so much to share, and we're so blessed that we could share the information with you as we have our guests with us today. Later on, you'll be meeting some of our speakers and speaker services. We have Judi Lirman with us and Carrie Flintom, who will be talking about their purpose, their business, and how they use speaking to grow their business and practice and build their business. So thank you so much to all of you who... Oh, all right. We got the applause before we even asked for it.
There are
Thank
so
you.
many people in the studio here, isn't it amazing?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
We've got such an audience. It's hard to fill rooms these days, but gosh, all
Hundreds.
these people are there.
Yeah.
Thank you to everybody who has sent emails and called us to tell us how much they're enjoying the show. They love the format. They think it's fabulous, and they're learning so much, and they're inspired. And that song, by the way, was by Lena Marquez, who's a dear friend of ours. It's called The Seed. And the seed is about growing and flowering, and it's so perfect for this show. And we so appreciate it that she has given it to us and allowed us to use it on the show. The minute we told her what we were doing, she said, "Susan, I have the song for you. It's called The Seed." She wrote it, she sang it, and it's fabulous. And we'll be hearing more of her music in the near future. So what's happening with you, Jean-Noel? What's been going on this past week for you?
Well, we've had some interesting clients. I was thinking of one of them who needed a book proposal for a conference that she was going to. And if you're writing a book, a lot of times you'll hear about these conferences where you can meet agents and editors, and it seems like a good thing to do, and some of them are really, really good, and it's really nice to meet the agents and editors. One of the things I tell people, of course, is they all go back to their offices in New York, Sunday night, and so Monday morning they're opening their mail and they're pulling out fresh new query letters and proposals. But this particular client gave you a proposal to read, remember? You took a quick look at it?
Right. This is our friend from Vancouver. Her name is Donna. And she came to go to Authors 101 University, which is a wonderful place to go and meet the agents and the people and see what's going on in the industry. And she said to me, "Look at this presentation packet that I brought." She had 4 different proposals, and she showed me this one sentence or what the name of it was. And do you remember what it was? I asked you the other day.
I don't remember and Donna, by the way, has kindly given us permission to talk about her in this way, because she kind of went through a metamorphosis. I mean, it was kind of on the academic side, because
Yes.
a lot of times when people hear the word proposal, they kind of put their proposal hat
And
on.
she's academic anyhow. This
She
has been
is.
her issue since we've known
Yeah,
her since
yeah.
2005, is like taking her academic language. She's brilliant, but
She's
nobody
brilliant.
understands what she's saying.
Exactly, which can be a big problem. And she'd interviewed all these great people. And
Yeah.
anyway, but one of the questions she asked, we had to straighten out the proposal. And after I beat her up a little bit, she did get it into more mainstream language, which is a whole other story. But remember one of the
But wait a
Yeah,
second.
go ahead.
Remember when she came back after the first or second night and she said, "I've got a better idea. Somebody told me to do something about the train wreck or the train coming
Oh,
down."
yeah.
And we said, "What?"
The new title is Running with the Train, and we said, I don't know. I'm not so sure about that. But
It's about business
yeah.
consciousness. It's about shifting consciousness in businesses and getting into deeper places so that businesses are run more consciously. That's really what her bottom line is.
But book titles are a lot like presentation titles, don't you think? Like
Yes.
a lot of times,
Yeah.
if you have a title like Running with the Train, you have to have a subtitle
Right.
that explains what does that mean.
Right.
What
And we all
train
said, what
yeah.
does that mean?
Right, exactly. So, but one of Donna's questions as far as speaking goes was, should she go out there and speak before her book is finished, right?
No, that's our new client.
Oh, was that the other
remember.
client?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
That's a question that we get asked often.
Right.
We do a lot of one-on-one coaching with people, and they have a book, it may be in process, or they're working on a book, and they also want to speak. But they need a lot of other stuff in between also. So we customize packages for our clients, and this was the question that she asked. She said, and I said when we were talking about it, what comes first, the horse or the carriage? It's like, what comes first? Do you do the book or do you do the speaking?
Well, I've had clients that don't have books yet. And while it's better to have the book when you're going out to speak, I have had clients that are in process with the book. They may be writing it or thinking about writing it, or it isn't finished, and they can go out and speak. In fact, one of my clients got on Coast to Coast AM without a book, and that's a huge radio show. So it is possible. I have another client now who's writing a book about addict children. She has 3 of them.
That's a really interesting topic.
Right, and she's
yeah.
already begun to speak. And of course, she knows her subject. There's an audience for it. The people need the help right now. So in a way, I wouldn't want her to wait because she has the passion, she has the enthusiasm for it. So I always say, even if you don't have the book, if you really feel confident and you know the subject, it's fine to get out there and speak.
Yeah, and here's what I think. I think that you don't have to wait until you have a book, because in doing these talks, when you go out to speak, even locally for free, you'll be getting information from there that you can put into your book, or you might be blogging about it, or you could take pieces of your book and turn it into a special report. That's one of the things that you need on your website anyhow. You need to give something away for free so that people will follow you or sign up for your email list. And if they're interested, they will sign up. And that's leveraging your business. If you don't have any followers on email, you're in trouble. You can't fill any events. If you're not on social media, you're in trouble. You got to get out there. And we were talking about this the other day again, where we're saying, well, what is it that you need to have to be a successful speaker? What are the elements that you need? What do the event planners, the meeting planners, the college activities directors, they go by a million different names. What do they want from you? Is it good enough to be able to call up and say, I'm a speaker and I speak about leadership? Call me if you would like me to speak.
We've heard so many people that do exactly that, and they wonder why they don't get callbacks, right?
Yeah, exactly. So let's look at, what are the things that helps to make a successful speaker, or what do they need in their promo materials, or even do they have a website? Some of them think that they can get away without a website.
Or if they have a website, what happens when you go to the homepage? Is it full of small gray type, or
can you read? Do you understand what they do?
Right. And a lot of times we can't. When we look at people's websites, because it's almost like they think, okay, visitors are going to come and, get a proper cup of tea and settle down and read the small gray print and stay. And the latest statistics that I've heard is people stay about maybe 3 seconds on your homepage before they decide if they'd like to stay longer. So I think you have to get them to stay 3 seconds and another 3 seconds and another. And by that time, maybe they'll settle in. But in order to do that, they have to make the benefits clear, right?
Yeah, we have to know what you do in a sentence or two. Why would we even want to stay in?
Right.
On,
What can
on
you
the
give
site?
us? You know?
What's in it for me?
Exactly.
Or what's in it for my audience? That's really important.
Right.
And another thing that, is suggested is that you have a blog, and you have a one sheet if you're a speaker or an author, one sheet. That you might have press releases also, which are really good to have, especially if you want to do media. And we do a lot of media for our clients, and we help them.
I do have Carrie's one sheet right here, actually.
Okay. Carrie is our guest, Carrie Flintom, and her book is called Heroes and Heels, and she has it with her. And we devised a 2-page one sheet for her based on her speaker listing. Can you guys see that picture there of her? I mean, does she not walk her talk? Heroes and Heels.
Literally.
She's not wearing her red heels today, but she definitely has black heels on, and we'll be hearing more from her later. It's a title, like Jean-Noel was saying, is so important. That really has an emotional kick to it, and I know she speaks to women's groups, and then some. We're going to hear more about it, but women love that, and I bet men do too. It's very sexy, Carrie. We like it.
She's in studio with us.
Right. I'm looking to her. But, getting back to the new client who asked the question, who we're going to start with in a couple of weeks, what did you suggest to her as we begin to work with her? Because we have to start somewhere. She wants to do the speaking and she wants to write the book. So how are we going to handle that?
Well, first thing that we did with her was to see what kind of shape the book was actually in, because she was in process with it. And when I took a look at it, I thought, honestly, it needed some work, which was not what she wanted to hear. However, the good news is that she knows her subject so well. I mean, she has a lot of experience in what she does, and I feel she's ready to go out and speak. Didn't you feel that?
Oh, yeah. She's been speaking for years. She's just reinventing herself, and she's got a really interesting topic. We won't say what it is yet, but you'll be hearing her on the show sometime in the near future. So we're going to work simultaneously with her to start working on her book and finishing it up. Jean-Noel will be doing that part, and we're going to help her to get clear on what she wants to speak about. In the book, it has many chapters. So which part is she most passionate about? Which is most marketable? And who wants to hear it? Those are the things that we always need to know. When somebody calls and says, I think I said this a while ago, when somebody calls us and says that they want to speak about anything, and they can speak to any audience.
To anybody,
I want to hang up. I don't want to talk to them.
It's like when people contact me. I help people with books, and I say, who's your target audience, your target readership, and they say, well, it's a gift book for all ages. And that's the same thing.
So you have to get focused, and that's what Jean-Noel always talks about, and we talk about with our clients. Focus. What you have is not for everybody. I had a call today actually from a woman in New York, near where I grew up in Queens, New York. It was really fun to talk to her, and she's been a nurse for 35 years, and she talks about caregivers, and she and she has a book that's just coming out now. And she was asking me questions because people call me. I love to talk to them and share with them how they can monetize their business. And she was saying, well, what's the average price that speakers get, paid for? And then I have to explain to her, it could be a keynote, it could be a breakout, or it could be a half day, a full day. You need to query them, you need to ask the questions. And I don't know what people ask for fees. I really don't, because everybody has a fee. But the best advice that I can give to all my speakers, and I always do, is when you get a call to go to speak, whether you're listed with speakerservices.com, which is a 21-year-old business, by the way, yay, we're doing it, and whether you get listed with us or not, and somebody calls and says, well, how much do you charge? I never give out my fee. I always teach my people to say, what's your budget? Because what if they say to you, we have $3,000 and you were thinking $500? You see the subtlety behind that.
Mm-hmm.
And also, if you have a book, by the way, you can ask for them to purchase your books in advance. They have an educational budget, which is separate from the speaking fee. I also, you know what else I wanted to talk about today, Jean-Noel? People always ask us, how do you find speaking engagements?
Right.
And that's one of our specialties. And we like talking about that. And I want to give a clue today how you can do it, because not everybody's going to be listed with the speaker services. Not everybody's listed with the Speakers Bureau. And if you want to be with the Speakers Bureau, you have to be making at least $5,000 to $10,000 before they'll accept you. And then they want 30% anyhow, which is fine. You can be with them, you can be with us, and you can be with both of us, because we have people like that. But the thing is, I forgot what I was saying. Oh, yeah, about the...
how they find the gigs?
Yeah, how they find the gigs. Thank you. That happens. It's a senior moment, guys. What happens is you can find gigs online. That's one of the ways of doing it. There's something called conferencealerts.com. It's free. You can sign up for it, and they send you conferences that are coming up in the near future, some in the States, some outside of the States. And then you got to do the research. You got to look and see what they're looking for. You've got to go to their website and look and see what conferences have they done before, what speakers have they had there. And most importantly, we always teach our people to look what's going on behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. What's the industry color, what the problems are. And you can find it a lot of times on the website.
Yeah, it's like if you really want to speak for a certain organization, what I would suggest doing is kind of what a journalist does, and that's my background as a journalist. And so I always try to find out as much as I can about what the needs of the organization are. And so you can find out a lot by, as Susan was saying, what did the previous speakers talk about? Of course, a lot of times they'll tell you what the subject is that they want speakers for the conference. But, you can even Google what I would do is Google the managing director, Google the person, who's hiring speakers. What's their background? Where did they work before? Sometimes you can find an area that you have mutual interests in. And then this will all help you in writing your proposal and putting it together. So I know we're going to be coming up to a break pretty soon.
Right, but we don't have the music yet. So let me just say, Los Angeles Business Journal puts out a book of lists. So does San Diego and all the other business journals. Book of lists comes out once a year. You can purchase it from them, and they break it up into different industries, the top 100 owned businesses. So if you're looking for minority-owned businesses, they tell you all the information about it and who the HR person is, and that's a place to start. Or women-owned businesses or restaurants and so on. And so we're going to break.
I'm coming up to a break, but don't go anywhere, because we've got Judi Lirman, a psychotherapist, in the studio, and she is going to tell us how to recapture the freedom and exuberance you had when you were a kid, and how to keep that in your life today, and a lot of other good things that she's going to talk about. So this is Talk Up Your Biz, Speak Your Way to More Profits, and we are on latalklive.com, where we are more than just talk.
In my soul, our beauty will show. And when everything is going wrong, and you feel like giving up,
We know there are many choices in internet radio, and the staff and host of LA Talk Live would like to thank you for choosing the internet's hottest destination for the most eclectic sound and invigorating talk. This is LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
Are you ready to enjoy the Maui lifestyle? You can have it all by owning real estate on the paradise island of Maui. Dennis Rush, a 22-year Maui resident and real estate broker, brings his wealth of experience and market knowledge to add value to your Maui real estate understanding, providing a level of service as unique and exceptional as the island of Maui itself. The magical island of Maui was voted the most exclusive resort island in the world by Condé Nast Traveler, and keep in mind, Maui is only a simple, non-stop flight away. Hawaii Business Magazine Top 100 Realtors awarded Dennis Rush the 2011 fourth top realtor on the island of Maui. Go to www.dennisrush.com to view all of the amazing properties currently available in the Maui MLS system. Whatever your needs or desires, Dennis Rush will provide a private consultation for any Maui properties your heart desires. You will be in good hands. Once again, go to www.dennisrush.com. That's www.dennisrush.com. Contact Dennis today to start your Maui lifestyle now. Dennis Rush, proud sponsors of the Dawn Christie Show and LA Talk Live.
Hi, this is Susan Levin, owner and founder of Speaker Services, inviting you to join me and co-host Jean-Noel Bassior on Monday evenings, 5 p.m. Pacific, for our new show, Talk Up Your Business, Speak Your Way to More Profits. We'll be talking to you about how to use your expertise to grow your business or service through speaking. Our expert speakers and author guests will share their stories and success secrets with you. Don't forget to tune in to Talk Up Your Business Mondays at 5 p.m. Pacific, exclusively on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B or watch us on Ustream.tv. Reality radio, handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
And when everything is going wrong, and you feel like giving up.
Welcome back to Speak Up Your Biz, or rather Talk Up Your Biz, Speak Your Way to More Profits. I'm Jean-Noel Bassior. My co-host Susan Levin is here, and we're on latalklive.com, where we are more than just talk. And our guest today in studio, our first guest, is Judi Lirman, who has written, let's have a hand for Judi here, who has written The Proud Book. And it's a book for tweens, right, Judi?
It is indeed. It's a book to help children, tweens, get a little bit of ground under their feet. So many of them really have no idea which end is up, and this is a way for them to work with it. May I hold the book up?
Of course.
Please do.
Yeah.
Okay.
This camera here.
It is currently still under work, but it's experiential. It's for them to be able to talk about themselves and find their strengths so they can build on them and to learn about themselves.
So I'd like to say that by way of introduction, Judi is a marriage and family therapist in San Fernando Valley, and she's been practicing for 28 years. And yes, that's a long time to be doing and listening to people's stuff. And she's very current on what she enjoys talking about. And these are issues that come up often in her practice. And I wanted to ask you, Judi, I know you talk about bullying. I know you talk about silver linings and transitions. Did that come out of your practice where you were having clients who were having issues with those situations?
Out of my practice, certainly. Also, out of my conversations and my own life experience.
Okay.
With bullying and cyberbullying, one, I had a bit of an experience when I was a child.
As a child? You had
As a child.
cyberbullying?
Not cyberbullying.
Okay.
I'm not that young. But bullying. And I've had many clients who've talked about it, including some at work. But I've had a number of parents who have come in and talked about the fact that their children are being cyberbullied and how their children are distraught and have no idea how to cope with it.
So this is really brilliant. You hear what Judi's saying here? She's telling us about cyberbullying and what we are always looking for is tying in what somebody's an expert in, and seeing what's in the news and what's current. That's what people want to know. And then it comes from her practice, and she has all these wonderful stories to share with us.
Many stories. Unfortunately, more stories than I'd like to admit.
Yeah.
On occasion, one case in particular was a young boy in middle school who had somebody else putting something on the web about him and claiming that he had actually written it. And so many kids are web savvy, thoroughly web savvy, so that they can create somebody else's. And this particular young boy almost got expelled from school because of what his friend, not so much of a friend, actually put there.
And we hear about parents going ballistic, don't we? I mean, what kind of shape are these parents in when they come to you?
Oh, the parents are furious and desperate. How do they protect their babies? How do they keep this from following their kids forever and ever? Because once it's out there, how do you ever pull the damage back? And you can't.
Right, right. And you talk about something else as well that really interested me when you listed with speaker services. You talked about remembering the feeling that we had when we were riding our bicycle as a kid. And then you said, what happened to the feeling? And then you said, and what happened to the bicycle? And I love that. I love that because it's true. We lose that feeling, don't we? And do you help people recapture that? And how do you do that?
Very much so. When I have clients come in to see me, they very much talk about what's not working in their lives. And we get back into the fact that they were magnificent when they were born. You don't have to do anything to be perfect initially. And we go with the bicycle and we go rolling through life and think that we're invisible. And then life happens. So I have clients access what it was like when things were going on that they liked and how to recapture that.
How to reconnect with what you call the magnificent self, right?
Absolutely.
How do we do that?
Actually, part of my creation of the Proud Book is part of that, because you go back and start looking at yourself on a daily basis and what you've accomplished and where you are now and you've forgotten. You also start taking into account who the people were who told you that you weren't magnificent, and starting to pay attention to the fact that they're just normal human beings,
and maybe they
like
were
the
wrong.
Rest of us. And maybe they were wrong.
Right. And now we're taught maybe we're bigger than they are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I remember hearing about a young woman who was told when she was born, or when she was a young child, that she came out and she was so ugly they would have sent her back.
Wow.
But
What a
how
message.
how could a 3-minute-old baby have done anything to deserve that? And when you start considering the truth of who the person was saying it, then that breaks free all the other feelings about who you are and what you are.
Because I was a really unhappy person who told her that.
Most definitely. And there was something wrong there.
Right.
There's so many things that are going on with people who are in transition now. And you talk about transition silver linings in a world of change. Can you talk a little bit about that?
I certainly can. Silver linings, because life is really a process of change. In fact, the Greeks and Romans talked about one of their gods, Juno, who was specialized in change, and we were talking about how things came about, and it was expected and something to be revered and looked forward to. Changes can be good and bad, and if you start looking, buying a home is wonderful, graduating is wonderful, but some of the transitions in life are a little bit difficult. and you start to go through all the different transition, all the changes, the steps of transition, where you were and where you're going to, and you find yourself in the middle, and you get to recreate yourself, and you get to discover who you are and go on from there.
That's really interesting, because I know that I've been going through changes, and thank you for all your calls about my back. I appreciate it. I've been, and I know that my girlfriend Lena, who wrote the music for the song, calls it the third debut, and I love it. When I didn't understand it when she first said it, but now I'm beginning to realize it. And we see so many people who are choosing not to stay on the planet, and then others who are choosing to stay here, so that they go through the transitions hopefully gracefully, not being beaten up by it, or the problem is that they're not listening, and that includes me too. And so the message is always, stop and listen to what's going on, so that you can go through this, whatever it is, so that you don't have to be in pain.
Very much so. I think this was brought to the fore to me when my husband died.
Oh.
And because he had been ill for quite some time, I expected I would be just fine to cope with things after his death. Well, I certainly wasn't. And thank heavens for my bereavement group. As I passed through that transition, probably the hardest one I've ever had, I found that I rediscovered myself and my strengths and the silver linings.
It's a rebirth.
It is very much. Clients say, how can I get ready for when the road becomes smooth and there are no twists and turns in life? The truth is, there are always twists and turns in life. The idea is to prepare yourself to be comfortable with them and to know that you will survive and go on. And life will start over again. Your third transition.
I love it.
Now you're going out and speaking, right? 'Cause
I've gone out speaking a great many places.
And how did you start? And was that hard for you? What were your first steps?
Well, the truth is I started speaking in about 5th grade.
Oh, okay.
And my
So,
first appearance in a school program, I loved it. I've competed in terms of doing some public speaking, but I started doing it when I really got rolling with my private practice.
so you didn't have a book at that point, right?
I did not have a book at that point. You're right, you can start early. And I've enjoyed going all sorts of different places, from women's groups to Lunch to Learn to an automobile organization, all sorts of different places. And I find it's invigorating, it's interactive.
How do you find the gigs?
Sometimes through your business, thank you very much. Sometimes by reaching out in networking and letting everyone know that I'm looking to speak. I also do some email advertising. I have another video coming out this next week.
Yeah.
And I put that out.
So you're really doing the work, because video is so important. You've got your ducks in a row, right? You got a one sheet, you got all that stuff.
I have a one sheet. In fact, we're looking to expand it because it's so successful and so much fun to go out and do. But I let people know. And it's all about relationships.
And what do you put on your email signature? I put that out around social media. I don't know if you saw that. And that's a good way to let people know what you do. Do you know?
Absolutely. I have a little blurb down at the bottom of every email I send out that says, please invite me to speak. I speak on this, and this, and I'm insightful, patient, and entertaining.
And does that bring you some visibility and get you business?
Absolutely, it does.
That's what we like. We're talking to Judi Lirman here, who's a psychotherapist, and she speaks on a myriad of topics. But Judi, tell people how they can get a hold of you.
They can take a look at me on my website, which is judilirman.com.
Judi, by the way.
Oh, yes, I am an I.
Lirman.
Lirman. And I'd love to have you come. Give me a call. My email address is Judi, JUDIMFT, from Marriage Family Therapist, at gmail.com. And I will indeed respond to comments there also and questions.
And you are actively taking new clients on? Should they
I
need
am
you?
actively taking new clients on. Like many therapists, I go into the evening to see my clients.
Uh-huh.
And I also go into some schools and speak there.
To the tweens.
To the tweens and to anyone else who needs. Sometimes to the teachers, sometimes to the parents, and many times to the kids. Because they can use a little bit of support in life.
Bless you for doing that.
Judi, in the couple of minutes that we have, what would be your best tip or a couple of tips you could give us about reconnecting with that magic that we felt in childhood so that our lives, become more fun, more pleasurable,
Take a moment, I think, and view yourself, if you can step back, almost from the outside looking in at yourself as someone else, because I think you will then see what you've accomplished and who you are. And we don't have to pretend to be anybody else. It is your authenticity that is most attractive. And hiding your emotions, you don't need to do that. The vulnerability and the warmth is what is really most attractive and will bring you back in touch with yourself.
So more positive messages?
More positive messages, and to give them to yourself, because you're the only one who's going to be with you your entire life. And you're the one who's responsible for comforting you, approving of you, and urging you on. And that way it sustains you. And you're not dependent on anyone else to approve and change who you are for.
So it all comes back to us, right?
It all comes back to us.
The audience likes that.
Yeah, and I kept thinking codependency. That's the word that ran through my mind. And we're coming to break right now. Thank you so much for being with us today. We appreciate you taking time out of your busy practice and sharing your valuable tips and information with us.
It has been my pleasure, and thank you so much for all you do. It's made a difference.
Oh, thank you. So you've been listening to latalklive.com, where we're more than talk. And this is Talk Up Your Biz, Speak Your Way to More Profits with Susan Levin and Jean-Noel Bassior. And we'll be back in a few minutes with Carrie Flintom, who is Heroes in Heels. Can't wait to hear her.
You are now tuned into LA Talk Live. We're more than just talk. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned.
Hello, this is Adalia, certified hypnotherapist and your solutions coach, with the answers for you to grow your business and grow yourself and live the life you truly want to live. Today I'm coming at you with an affirmation that's going to help you to stay focused and not be distracted by nonsense and frivolities. I hope this will inspire you to stay focused for your goals and take action. And the affirmation is, today I refuse to be distracted by nonsense. This is Adalia with your affirmation, sponsored by LA Talk Live. And be sure to tune in every day for your daily dose of affirmation. Affirmations are the antioxidants of your mind. They will pick you up when you're down. They will move you forward when you're stuck. You can have them for breakfast, lunch, dinner, appetizers, even a snack, and you will never gain a pound. Awesome. Reality radio, handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
It's Miss R&B, and I'm inviting you to come and hang with me every Thursday night at 9 p.m. PST for Perspectives Corner with Rona Rowe Bennett on America Talk Live. Hear and see interviews and live performances from some of our favorite celebrities and personalities in entertainment, sports, business, and the wellness industries. We're getting lifted and we're going deep, talking about life and empowering the champion in us all. See you there.
Dance in the moonlight, pray for the rain. Welcome back the sunshine, like a rose spray.
Welcome back. This is Susan Levin and Jean-Noel Bassior at Talk Up Your Biz. Speak your way to more profits, and we're on latalklive.com, where we're really more than talk. And now we'd like to introduce to you the wonderful, incredible, fabulous Carrie Flintom.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. And we're very happy to have you here today. And Jean-Noel's going to introduce you.
Well, Carrie, I know you have a wonderful book called Heroes in Heels, right? Hold it up.
Where am I holding?
And I know
Right
that
there.
you're a strategic life coach, right?
Yes.
And what we have you listed as in speaker services, even though I know you do a lot more, but you show women how to give each day meaning and purpose instead of getting caught in endless details and demands. So I wanted to ask you about living a heroic life, because I find that a really interesting topic. I wrote a book on television, and it was about a time when we really did have heroic models, and we wanted to grow up to live heroic lives.
Mm-hmm.
So how can we stay connected with that feeling that a lot of us had as children, that we want our lives to be heroic? What can we do to not get caught up in these everyday details?
Well, I think that it really starts off with really what Judi was saying, going back to that we're really born perfect. Our authentic self is really what we were put on earth to be, and that we get lost, that life gets the best of us, and that we can get caught up in what other people are saying and what other roles that we have, and other people's opinions. And for me, really becoming a hero, a heroes in heels, is really awakening the hero within you, that greatness that you were born with, that authentic self, and tapping into that and really embracing it, honoring it, and then stepping up in your life and proactively creating the life that you are meant to live. And instead of spending your days just reacting to everything that's coming at us, because most of us, especially moms and all of us, in our busy lives, we can get just caught up in all those details and demands and all the needs that are coming towards us, and we don't proactively create our lives and meaning in our lives. So
what do you tell people who feel as if there's way too much to do? It's just impossible. Their to-do lists are out of control. How do we keep from getting caught up in all that?
I think it is just a proactive choice. I was certainly one of those people, which is what led me to write the book. I'm a mother of 3 children. I had 3 kids in 3.5 years.
Wow.
So I was a very, very busy mom. And I didn't have a lot of help. And I also worked and helped run my then husband's practice. And I was I was the super mom, right? I was the super woman that so many of us try to be. And my life was full of details. It was full, but it wasn't fulfilling. Mm-hmm. And I had an experience where I felt like my soul and the reality of my life collided, going 100 miles an hour. Mm-hmm. And in that process, in that awakening, I call it, I realized that I was allowing all these circumstances and all the dynamics in my life to get the best of me, and I really wasn't honoring myself. We, as especially women, can get lost in our lives, and I was very lost. If someone asked me, "Who are you?" if I wasn't somebody's mom or somebody's wife or somebody's this or somebody's that, I couldn't answer who I was. And I think that that it's really quieting yourself, even 5 minutes a day, to just quiet yourself and remember who you are, what's important to you, what you value, and then aligning your day with those things that you value. I call it value management, not time management. Because you can have an incredible experience in connecting with like a child in 5 minutes. You don't have to be with them all day, but you can create what I call heroic moments.
So are we too conscious of time?
I believe so. I think if we focused on value, of most of us, if you were to say, what are the top 10 values in your life? And then you had everybody write, what are the top 10 time consuming elements of your life? That's where the gap always shows up. So, and I think that there are so many ways. When I shifted and started putting value into the things that really mattered to me, I stopped doing things that didn't bring joy and fulfillment and happiness to me and or my family. And I do think it's just a matter of shifting how you go through your day and create the day that is going to provide you with fulfillment, with purpose, with happiness, with joy, with love, all those elements.
Carrie, I noticed that on the cover of your book, you talk about a 30-day journey.
Yes.
So are you saying that you can change your habits in 30 days and shift all your...
I believe so. We all know it takes, 21, 28 days to, to break a habit. And I believe what happens after 30 days, in Heroes and Heals, the book, it's a 30-day journey. It has 5 elements to it, 5 key things that you're asked to do that take less than 5 minutes a day, because
that's
time
manageable.
Time is of the essence. And as a busy mom myself, and then a single mother working, I knew that to apply certain strategies to life had to be quick and easy, and I needed to get results from them. So the 5 steps that I have you go through in this 30 days is to help you create meaning and fulfillment, and to start to make that shift. And after 30 days, what I found for myself that started to happen was, it wasn't a process I went through. It was who I'd become, and it's how I started to live my life. So now I go through these 5 steps every day, but I don't think about it. It's just...
you become it.
You just become that.
And so I know that you're out speaking to lots of women's groups and then some other groups that you've shared with me.
Yes.
And you've had really wonderful success through speaker services, and that makes us very happy.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. But do you coach people? You're a coach as well?
Yes, I'm a coach. I was a coach first.
Okay.
I started off as a life coach, and then decided to put some of the practices that had really changed my life into the book. And then once the book was out, I felt the need to connect more with the women. So that I would hear from women, when they would read the book, and I would get the feedback, but I didn't have that connection I really wanted. And that's when I decided that I wanted to speak.
And what was the first thing that you did when you decided that you wanted to speak? We have to give a shout out
Yes,
here.
we do. The first thing that I did, I was speaking to a friend who is a speaker, and she said, I told her I was interested in speaking, and she said, you've got to call my secret weapon. And that's Heidi Parr-Kerner, who was, number one, the best decision I ever made, and the best money I invested into starting a speaking career. And the second was joining Speaker Services, which is what Heidi, told me to do.
Yes, and thank you, Heidi Parr-Kerner, who we trained, So we're so pleased. And she no longer lives in Los Angeles. She's living in Erie, Pennsylvania, but that doesn't mean that you can't connect with her.
That's right. She coached me the whole time from San Diego.
And this is the first time that Carrie and I are meeting, and she's been listed with us over 2 years, or maybe 3. I don't even know. It just keeps going by, and she keeps saying yes, yes, yes. and she drove up today from San Diego. We so appreciate you doing that.
No worries.
That's fabulous.
One of the things, Carrie, that I think is really interesting about you is this unique angle that you have, just the title, because you've taken these 2 words, heroes and heals, And those are two words we usually don't put together. In fact,
Right.
high heels used to be kind of a symbol of maybe everything but a
Right.
hero. It's just we're sort of not exactly taking your own power in some ways to some women, although it can mean many different things. But how did you think of putting those images together? And it just makes
That's
you
a
so
great
unique.
question.
I played around for a long time just trying to find the right title. And it actually came to me when I was in the shower. And
That's when I get my ideas in the shower.
I wonder why all those ideas stay in the shower. That's just like, who puts them there?
Yes. So, and I was kind of just thinking about sheroes was the word I was kind of stuck on. And I really had come to believe that you do need to become the hero in your own life. You have to save yourself. Whatever circumstances you're in, wherever your life is, you are the one that has to save yourself first. Mm-hmm. And so for me, that's what started the hero. And then it was just hero and female. And
right.
I just kept playing with it. And then one day, Heroes and Heels came, and I just knew that was it.
It's a very powerful match, very powerful combination. And I think it's such a great way of being unique, and it sets you off as kind of different, from another speaker who might be talking about self-empowerment for women, but that
right.
image just kind of says it. So that's, when
Brilliant.
you take the time to get your unique brand or your unique tagline or an image like that, can be very powerful in booking you as a speaker, don't you think, Susan?
Absolutely. And we need to know how people can connect with you.
Yes. So on speaker services, obviously, and my website is www.heroesinheels.com, and that's HEROES inheels.com. I'm also on Facebook. Would love for you to like us on Facebook. We have a community page there, and email is Carrie, CARRIE, @heroesinheels.com.
Great. And so if you're interested in having Carrie come and speak for your organization, she travels.
Yeah.
And if you would like to work with her where she does coaching, or she might do a workshop for you, she's available. And they can get the book where?
On my website.
Okay.
As well. And it's also in digital format.
Oh, great.
And on Amazon as well.
We like that. I order everything from my iPad or my Kindle.
Yes.
It's there instantly. I love that. Yes.
And I have another question for you, Carrie.
Okay.
I really thought it was interesting what you were saying about separating time from value, right? And that helps me see how I can kind of unhook from this time pressure. But a lot of times, at least what I experience is, even though I know I should take the time, there's this illusion that I don't have the time to take the time.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, because
Because I hear you talking
Because you
about
hear it, yeah.
Here's an example of coaching going on subliminally.
Coach me, Susan. Go on.
No, Carrie's going to coach you.
Oh, okay.
At the bottom line is, the only thing that keeps us from having what we want in life is the story we tell ourselves of why we can't have it. And I think that's true when it comes to managing our time. We can always say, I don't have time, I'm in a hurry. But, if you actually do it, you'll find that you do have time and you did fit it in.
And I didn't die.
And you didn't die.
Really?
And,
I can survive this?
And if it's important, if it is of value to you to do that, whether it's, say, going to the gym, working out, taking a 15-minute walk, if you just take the first step and actually just do it and say, I'm just going to do it. Once you're there, then it's all okay, and you end up having more energy and you feel good because you actually did it.
I can relate that to the gym. Yeah, it's true.
And so it's a domino effect, and then you feel empowered by actually proactively doing it.
Yeah.
And so we all have the same amount of time in a day, and right? It's the one thing that we all have the same amount
And
of.
what I like to do is to put it in my calendar. When I started to go to the gym, or I'm going for a walk with a friend and I know that I need to walk, I will call my friends and say, I need to walk 3 times this week. When are you available? And put it in. And then it's a date, and then it's like an appointment that I have, and I go. And if I didn't have it, I wouldn't do it.
And I think that's perfect example of net time. And net time means no extra time. So when you do something like that,
net time,
you can go for a walk. You can connect with your friends. There's
Right.
multiple things you can be doing
Exactly.
at the same time. And that's another key that I talk about as well, is
I
how to
see.
use net time in your life to really accomplish multiple things,
So what exactly does net time mean? Why is it called net time?
No extra time.
Oh, I get it.
So it's doing multiple things at the same time. If you want to get together with a girlfriend, and instead of sitting and having coffee, get your coffee and go for a, 20-minute walk and do your talking and walking and all of that. So net time is just same thing with your kids. If you're driving in a car and turn off the radio and actually have a 5-minute conversation while you're driving your kid to
you don't
soccer.
text your kids if they're sitting in the back of the car
and have
or to
that
come to dinner.
conversation to connect with them, any of those kind of things. That's all. Or if you're driving to work, put in a motivational CD, right? Listen to somebody, an expert. And so while you're driving, you're not wasting that time.
And what about the idea of taking out of your vocabulary, there's not enough time in the day, and when I finish doing this, I can do that, and putting it off. Don't you think that you should erase that from your memory?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and put some positive talk in, because I think that the universe still hears that when you're saying, well, when I'll get to that, and then it never happens, or it happens and you miss the boat. I think that happens for some people. And I always think that writing down, and segmenting the day, then you have an appointment. And what I do is I get up really early, or I was getting up early. Maybe in my third debut I'm doing differently now. But I get up and I do my research, then I do my emails. And then I look at the clock and I say, okay, now you're going to do Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter, and you have till 9 o'clock. And at 9 o'clock, you have to stop and you have to get in the shower. I talk to myself and I make myself do that. Yeah. And now my new routine is, since my back issue, thank you for all your caring, is I get up and when I'm making the coffee, then I'm doing my exercises. And when the coffee machine goes off, that's when I stop.
Well, you talk to yourself and you listen to yourself.
Right. I didn't always do that, but now I'm doing it because I know that I had to make that shift, because I don't want to be walking around with a broken back.
Right. And that's the why, right? If you have a really important why you're doing it, if you don't have if you're just like, oh, I don't really want to go exercise, I know I should. But if you have a why that, a really valid reason, that will help you stay and help define the value that's in there, so you can be healthy, so you can have the energy to get through your day, so you can have all those things. So
that's a really good tip, remembering the why.
The why is really important.
I think I get trapped in the what and the when, what has to be done, when it has to be done. And then if I ask why, that takes me to another level. Why do I have to do this?
And that's where the leverage comes in, because it matters, you have value to it. And if you remember why you're doing things in the first place, then you will more likely you'll stay true to accomplishing what is important to you.
Well, you've certainly made it work. And I think we can see that.
Thank you.
So
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do want to say that when you do get in touch, and sometimes when you're in a rut like that, it's because you're not doing what you really want to do. But when you do get in touch with what it is that you're passionate about and what you really love to do, I think then that's when you begin to make the shift, or you start to take the steps to do that.
Right.
Because that's the why.
That's the why.
Right, Jean-Noel?
Right, Susan. Whatever.
And it's happening. It's happening all the time for all of us, because we're evolving and we're knowing that.
Well, anytime you're doing something you love or you're passionate about, it actually feeds you energy. It gives you more energy because you're a little bit adrenaline rushed.
And time disappears.
And I think it's starting to disappear now for us.
Just
Who are we going to have on the show next week?
Well, next week, you've got to be here, because we have got Marnie Spencer Devlin, who went from being homeless to the head of a multi-million-dollar company that she started. So that's
she wrote a book.
And she's written a book. That's a pretty incredible story.
Yes.
And we have Jacqueline Robertson, who's known as the Dream Sister. And she's got a great system where all you have to do is put in 20% effort, and you're going to get 80% or more of the results you want. So tune in next week or anytime in the archives. This is Talk Up Your Biz. Speak your way to more profits. And we are on latalklive.com, where we are more than just talk.
Thank you for tuning in to LA Talk Live, reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we're more than just talk. Stay tuned.